Little bit off topic here, but can somebody explain to me the appeal of reaction channels? Because I just don't get it. They don't really say anything of substance and they just kind of stare at the screen and make stupid faces. This is peak. That sucks. It's all the same bullshit. And yet some people still swear by them and say things like, well said, after they deliver some surface level reaction. Anyway, the new Superman sneak peek was officially released online, and look at the bright side of things. At least they're not forcing you to watch Minecraft if you actually wanted to see it. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Let's go, baby! Superman sneak peek in full effect. James Gunn, I just want to say I appreciate you, boss, for blessing us with yet even more peak. Crypto is so cute. In fact, I'd watch a whole movie just about him. Who knows, maybe in July, that's exactly what I'm gonna get. I just love how colorful this movie looks already. Finally, a superhero movie that's not afraid to be a superhero movie. The fortress looks like it's ripped right out of the comics. Let James Gunn cook. Superman is gonna have one hell of a suntan after that. July 11th, 2025, we will be seated. Okay, so I'm probably going to keep this one somewhat brief, because if I'm being brutally honest, I really don't give a shit. And when it comes right down to it, I've said just about all I can say about this movie already, and I'm really not interested in beating a dead horse, because I am starting to feel like that band who gets tired of playing that song that everyone likes over and over again. There's just been so many leaks and reveals associated with this movie, but people do like to hear me talk about it, so here we go, I guess.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Superman has quickly become one of those movies, for me, that is clearly not worth the energy that some people put into it. I felt very similar about this sneak peek as I felt after watching the original trailer. I don't hate it, I don't love it, I'm kind of indifferent towards it, which is almost worse than having an overwhelmingly positive or negative response. Some things that jumped out to me, I think this first look all but confirms that the leaks that we heard a couple of days ago are in fact real, which almost instantly makes me less interested in this movie than I already was. My biggest issue with this movie from the very beginning is that I'm just not a big fan of James Gunn's storytelling approach. Once again, I think he's an average at best director and writer, and I haven't really seen anything of his that I've been all that enamored with.
Not impressed.
What I really needed from him with this movie is for him to abandon his usual style and do something a little bit different. Because I do not feel like his traditional style meshes well with the character of Superman. But I just don't think that that's going to happen. You see, I saw one reaction to the footage that said it was full of James Gunn's trademark humor, which could be a selling point for some, but it is an instant turnoff for me. Now, to be fair, I didn't see a lot of that humor in the footage that was publicly released today, but I know it's going to be in the final product because, quite frankly, I don't believe that James Gunn is capable of writing a story without it. His limitations as a filmmaker is what is holding me back from having any excitement for this movie. Well, that and the more than questionable marketing strategy that they've had up until this point.
Why are you the way that you are?
As far as the footage goes, I will give them credit for this. I felt like the visuals looked a lot better than I thought they would. Not quite as cheap as the early reveals would suggest. It is very colorful and very vibrant looking, which is something that a lot of people on the internet have been asking for years. As far as the CGI goes, I felt like the CGI that brought Crypto to life was actually quite good. Very lifelike. I still have my reservations about them including Crypto in this movie at all, and the fact that the marketing has been very focused on him. It does feel desperate in a sense, and like they are trying to appeal to the all he's cute crowd. It has Baby Yoda vibes written all over it, and I've said for many years now that Baby Yoda came off as very gimmicky to me.
It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
I've seen a lot of people bring up the fact that it's kind of hokey that Krypto is saving Superman in this clip, and that the dog is basically beating the shit out of him through his excitement. Now, I understand the criticisms with the dog saving him, because that is kind of cheesy. As far as the dog being rough with him unintentionally, I can confirm as a longtime pet owner that that is a very real occurrence. Now, does it have a place in a Superman movie? That could be up for debate, but I didn't have a huge issue with it like a lot of other people did. I also felt like the Fortress of Solitude itself looked quite good. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what you would expect a Fortress of Solitude to look like. And the truth is that we haven't seen a more traditional fortress on screen in quite some time. But that brings me to the robots, and unlike Krypto, their CGI look considerably less realistic. It's almost as if they spent all of the CGI budget on the dog and didn't have anything left over for the robots.
Show me the money.
Which brings me to my next point of contention, that being the whole healing process sequence. A lot of people are bringing up the fact, myself included, that it's kind of weird that Superman is screaming in agony as the sun heals him. Because I don't recall a situation either in a movie or in a comic book where I can recall that happening. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But at first glance, it does not seem consistent with what we know about the character. Now, I've seen some people try to defend it and say that it would hurt to have your vital organs repaired in real time. And I would respond to that and say, but not with Superman. Now, I guess you could say that the power of the sun is being harnessed by that machine and somehow injected directly into him, and that's what's causing the pain. It's a bit more concentrated, so I guess it's speeding up the process. But I've literally seen Superman fly next to the surface of the sun in other media, and he didn't feel a thing. Perhaps this is the retcon to Superman lore that was hinted at in the news just a couple of days ago.
This is whack. I can't get jiggy with this shit.
At the end of the day, for me personally, it feels like the screams were added for dramatic effect and nothing more. But it is kind of interesting to see people bend over backwards to defend something like that is questionable when it comes to its comic accuracy, especially after years of bitching that is in fact what they want. At the end of the day, this footage really didn't do much to change my mind about this movie one way or another. I'm just not that excited for this movie, and that has a lot to do with the combination of the people who are making it, as well as the fact that I personally have a serious case of superhero fatigue. I just haven't seen enough, ironically, because we've seen a lot from this movie, one way or another that's going to change my opinion or make me feel anything towards this movie. Based on this footage, it does seem like it's geared more towards kids or a family crowd to a degree. Now, I don't know how the rumored sexting plot lines and animal cruelty fits into that plan, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. At the end of the day, Superman looks like just another comic book movie to me, and the last thing I want right now as a fan is just another comic book movie.
Y'all be cool. Nah.